Hello and welcome to another scenario. So the Warzone kind of recently released an article about basically the future defense and air defense of Guam, and yeah, I would recommend it to all of you to read it. It's really interesting, but and I mean they have like big plans about basically designing a whole new kind of early warning radar and stuff, and they want like where are they? They want something kind of similar to the Iron Dome, just with AIM 9X. And yeah, so lots of plans. But the question is, I mean, if Guam was attacked tomorrow by China, what would the defense look like? And yeah, for those who don't know, Guam, of course, is that little island in the West Pacific, which belongs to the US and hosts a couple of military installations like Andersen Air Force Base over here. Okay. So first of all, if the Chinese attacked tomorrow, what could they actually use to attack with? So let's switch over to China and take a look. So there's probably like two basic categories that we have to take a look at. And first, like the first of them is ballistic missiles. We're not going to look at nuclear missiles, like nuclear ballistic missiles. At this time, of course, they could hit Guam with that. But what about their conventional strike options? So if you may remember, we have that DF-17, which actually has a hypersonic light vehicle, is not even close to in range. I mean, if we look at the distance, we're at about 1.6 thousand nautical miles from the coast, and this is only about like 1,000. What else is there? The DF, like a Dongfeng 21. We already looked at this in the anti-shipping role, and yeah, same problem. It's kind of a medium range ballistic missile. It cannot reach Guam. And then of course they have their land-based CJ10, like a cruise missile, also kind of the same range. It can't reach out far enough. They also do have the DF-26 though, and this is like more of an intermediate range ballistic missile, and it has it's pretty like I think, do they tell what the, okay, they don't do it here, but like their CP is like about between 100 and 10, like 10 and 100 meters, and I think command says it's 20, but there's also like anti-ship variants of these. I mean, I think we tried them out last time. So yeah, they're pretty accurate, and they're also dubbed the Guam killer, and that is for a reason, because they actually are just in range of the island. And yeah, so we're simulating the 654th Brigade and 626th Brigade of the People's Liberation Rocket Forces. And they are stationed over here in Dalan, and this one is, forgot the name again, it's Xingyuan, or something like this. So each of them is a brigade. I gave each brigade 3 batteries of DF-26. That means 12 DF-26 for each unit, and so we'll be firing 24 DF-26 missiles. But that is of course not all, because the Chinese also have a pretty sizable bomber fleet, and they are divided in 3 bomber divisions. And for this, like for this scenario, I have parts of the 10th division. It's in this case it's in Anqing. I think it has another airport that I couldn't find though. Yeah, so they have these H6 Badgers, and they have about, I think, 170 or something of them left, and you can very, very roughly consider them equivalent to a USB 52. So kind of old school strategic bomber. And I think we have like each of the brigades, I think they call them, is in this case 18 badgers. So we have a whole bunch of them here, and we have a whole bunch, like a brigade for each airport from the 8th Division over here in Shandong and Liang. So most of them can technically carry cruise missiles, and in that case it's like a CJ10 variant. It's the KD-20 with a range of around 110 nautical miles, roughly equivalent to like a Tomahawk, kind of. So in this case, I assumed that they can probably muster like 2 full flights of KD-20s, and they will be taking off from over here. And the rest of the bombers will be fitted with KD-63. These are also like, they're more like sea skimmer kind of missiles. They are land attack only, I think. Oh, they can actually also like attack ships. So yeah, these could be also used in an anti-shipping role. But their range is a lot shorter. It's like closer to a harpoon than a tomahawk. So in this case, we will have to get a lot closer. And yeah, then we just have some remaining H6Ms, and they just carry dumb bombs. Okay, so it's close to 100 planes. Question, of course, is can they actually get to Guam? It's roughly 2,000 nautical miles from each of the air bases. And yeah, as I said, the cruise missiles over here, they're not going to have a problem. They'll just go to their launch. Like once they're in range, they'll launch their missiles and return home, no problem. Anqing is actually just barely out of range. Like they would turn around and go home before they can launch their missiles. So what we'll have to do is to tell them like we can set them up so that they will actually go and do their mission regardless of fuel, and then we have to get them home somehow, and we will do that with the air-to-air refueling over here from Liang. So we have a whole bunch of tankers, and basically on the way back we will try to refuel them and get them home safely. And that will not work for all of them. So we will probably, like, some of them will have to ditch. So we will lose some bombers on the way. But I mean, I've tested this a few times, and most of the time you're not losing that many. Like it's actually fairly safe. Like in the real world, would they actually use that many bombers in a like first strike like this? Probably not, because you're getting like very close to Okinawa over here with Kadena Air Base, and yeah, your bombers would be intercepted very likely, and this would probably not work. But for the purpose of this like test, we'll just assume that they can use as many bombers as they want, and yeah, it's going to be like more than 50% of the Chinese bomber fleet involved. So all in all, as I said, we're going to be launching 24 DF-26, 144 KD-20, that's the long-range CJ10 air-launched variant, and then another 144 of the KD-63, and we'll also be dropping some dumb bombs. But yeah, in total, that's 312 missiles. That is quite a big number. But again, it's kind of intended as a demo first strike. So basically, if the Chinese want to destroy Guam tomorrow, what could they muster up in one big strike? Okay, so now to the defenders. What is actually in Guam that could be used to defend the island tomorrow, or like at very short notice? So I always like to go to Google Maps and take a look at the facilities, see what the satellite's images tell you. And yeah, so this is Anderson Air Force Base. I mean, there are quite a few like military installations in Guam. It's not just Anderson, it's also like this is US Navy, like at least some of it. And then there are a few more over here, like smaller ones. And there's also this thing, I don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't seem to host any like systems at the moment. Anderson itself, I mean, there are some planes here and there, but it's not like crowded or anything. The airport is supposed to be able to handle like all the strategic bombers, like including the B-2, and it has hosted B-22s before and stuff, so it can totally service all of these airplanes. But the air wing, like at Guam, doesn't really have, or doesn't seem to have a fighter wing. And yeah, so you have some airlift capabilities here, but yeah, that's kind of it. And yeah, not a lot of stuff. And also, haven't seen any air defense systems yet. And I've looked pretty hard. Yeah, so there's some fuel, of course, some like exposed above the ground, and then like some underground fuel farms. And of course, and that's one thing that Anderson is kind of famous for, is they have crazy amounts of ammo bunkers. And then there's another like small field over here, but again, I don't really see any air defense systems here. Yeah, some radars. I mean, radars are all over the place. Like they have lots and lots of radars everywhere. So from the radar side, they're pretty much covered. So yeah, I mean, now you might say maybe that's kind of normal. Maybe they don't release like satellite images or anything like where you can see all of the defense systems. I mean, I don't know if that's feasible, but yeah. Just as a comparison, if we go over to Okinawa, to Kadena Air Base over here. So this is Kadena, and let's see if we can find some planes. Yeah, some transports. Okay. Lots of transport, some sentries, and oh, look at that. F-35s. I mean, Kadena is supposed to host F-15s. Don't know where these bad boys come from. But then you have lots of F-15s here, lots of F-15s here. So there's lots of stuff. And let's see, can we find air defense? Yeah, this looks like a Patriot battery. See over here, like all the little components. And oh, another Patriot battery. Would you look at that? And let's see, is there more? I think there was another one. Oh yeah, there it is. So even more air defense systems. And yeah, they even have a bat cave over here. So this base looks pretty well defended. Guam, kinda not. So so what do they actually have there? So from what I've read, they tested a couple of systems there, including the THAAD and the Israeli Iron Dome. But the Iron Dome, apparently, like they just tried it out and then disassembled it and shipped it off again. What they seem to have there is a THAAD battery, and I also found an article by the Missile Defense Advocacy Alliance, where they described that the ballistic missile defense in Guam right now is based on like a THAAD battery and a ballistic missile defense Aegis cruiser, which you always have one there, and it's just circled. So they have at least one on station at all times, apparently. Yeah, and then of course there seem to be some like emergency deployable THAAD batteries in the US, like 3 in Texas and 3 in Fort Bliss and like 1 in Fort Hood. So 4 in total, but yeah. I find it pretty unlikely that they wouldn't be able to ship in a Patriot battery like within 24 hours, because I mean they're pretty abundant. So we will assume that they have at least one Patriot battery on the island. And yeah, so what's the defense gonna look like? So for ballistic missile defense, we have a THAAD battery that will be stationed over here. Yeah, it's like a standard configuration as command gives them, like 2, 4, 6 launchers and a TPY2, like one of these big radars that they have. Yeah, and I mean the THAAD gets a bit of a like bad rep because it's not able to protect you from nuclear missiles, but yeah, when it comes to like intermediate and medium range ballistic missiles, I mean, it's not amazing or anything, but it's pretty good at hitting them, at least in command. So it's not a bad system, but it's like, as always with ballistic missiles, it's very, very difficult to get all of them. Like the THAAD will be able to get a lot of them, but not all. Yeah, then we have a Patriot system. Essentially, I just like deleted a few parking spots over here in Anderson and replaced it with like one of the more modern Patriot batteries. And then we also have a couple of like Stinger positions over here scattered around the island. So they will be able to maybe catch a few cruise missiles here and there. But when it comes to ballistic missile defense, yeah, the THAAD and the Patriot are what like as ground-based defenses what can hit ballistic missiles. And then of course we have the ballistic missile defense destroyer, which is supposed to be there, and in this case we'll have the Arleigh-Burk with SM3 missiles, and I actually removed all the other missiles, so it's not it won't be able to handle anything else but ballistic missile defense. And the SM3, of course, is like a mid-course intercept system, so we also have to be able to see the missiles coming in. And then the problem is, okay, are there any radars anywhere close that can handle it? The closest I could find was the ground-based was the Clear station in Alaska, but that is too far away. So what we need in this case is this bizarre thing, the SBX, Sea-based X-band radar, which is essentially a ballistic missile early warning radar on an oil rig, and it's kind of based off Hawaii from what I could find. And yeah, whenever there's ballistic missile problems, then they'll move it out to wherever it needs to go, and then yeah, it's like it is capable of detecting ballistic missiles in space. Okay. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. Yeah, so we assume that parts of the the F-15s from Kadena, they can probably just fly over. It's like just over 1,000 nautical miles. So we'll assume that there is like a squadron of F-15s on Guam, and then there is F-22s in Hawaii. It's a bit far away, but I mean tankers are available at Guam, so I'm pretty sure they could fly some over within 24 hours. So we also have 6 F-22s. Problem is, it's probably not going to matter because the first, like the initial strike with ballistic missiles is going to disable the airport, very likely. And yeah, our planes will probably stay grounded. Okay, I think that is actually it. So a quick look at the defenders again, just to have it nice and tidy. 1 THAAD battery, 1 Patriot battery, 3 Stinger sections, and the planes that I mentioned at Anderson. Again, the rules will have 12 hours. I think the scenario starts at about 1 a.m. Guam time, and it is 23, so 11 p.m. China time. And yeah, there are 10 ground targets again. So the 10 targets are 1, 2, 3, 4 over here in the south. Then we have 5 and 6 over here in the middle, kind of. So we are counting the airport terminal as 1, then industrial plant 7, 8, and then we have Anderson as 9, and the runways at the civilian airport as 10. And that's actually something I kind of overlooked at first because I'm not really accounting for these runways, which can of course be used by military aircraft. after the strike. And once the ballistic missiles are out, we don't actually have anything that's good at destroying these runways. Maybe except for the dumb bombs, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. If they can't disable these, we'll have to just subtract a point, because that is still pretty relevant capability. Yeah, because it's a usable runway essentially. Okay, I think that is it, and we can start. Okay, everything is set and ready to go, so let us switch over to the Chinese and hit the start button. Okay, 1 minute in. Let's get some of the missions off the ground. So our cruise missile carriers are in the CJ10 attack mission, and we will just set them to active and let them take off. Once they're around this area, we can launch the other bombers. So let's just give it a moment for them to take off and be on their way. Okay, that should be good. Then we will go and set those ones to active too. And so just like from a technical standpoint, all of these bombers are going on a land patrol essentially, and the patrol area is the entirety of the island. So and they're not allowed to attack anything outside that. Otherwise they'd start shooting at stuff that I've put over here, which is not what we want. So let's let them take off really quick, and once they are over the ocean and would probably be detected by early warning radars, then we're shooting our ballistic missiles. Okay, it is now exactly 0 hours. In Guam, it's going to be 2 a.m. Yep. Time to launch our missiles. So how are we going to do this? So what do we actually want to hit with no, come on. There we go. So we want to disable this airport. That is our most important task. And yeah, of course you can like, there's basically like cheese in command, because runways are pretty, like they require a lot of damage to actually be disabled. These access points do not, so you can always just kill all the access points and the airport won't work anymore. In this case, we'll be shooting at the runways. Is that something that would likely happen? I don't know, but in this case, I found it to be very, very practical. So, and it's 2 runways, so to disable the airport, we have to destroy or like completely disable both runways. So we need some missiles to get through, and I think a single hit will not do it, so we need multiple hits. Let's see if we can manage to do that this time. There we go. Okay. Missiles away. There they come. So they're getting up close. Now they've passed 500 kilometers altitude, so way above the ISS already. And now we're gonna switch over to the American side and see what they can see. So they can't see the missiles yet, and we'll see. We'll check when they detect them. Okay, we have detected some missiles over here, and who detected them? Yeah, was of course our SBX-1, as expected, and they detect them at an altitude of 1.2 thousand kilometers. So let us switch into God mode and so we're now trying to intercept these missiles, and here's our Arleigh-Burk, and he will be the first to fire. with SM3s. There are our missiles over here. So let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, first missiles are out. Let's slow it down. And it's shooting at the southern group. Okay. So as you can see here, they are trying, like the SM3 is supposed to intercept missiles outside the atmosphere. It has a little kill vehicle that looks almost like a satellite. And so they will try to hit them over here, like way outside the atmosphere, and we'll see if they can manage. And knowing command, it's probably not going to work. We'll see. Oh, and we also have some fat from over here, actually. So first group, can you manage to get some hits? Yeah, they're actually getting some hits. But most of them fail. That's actually pretty good performance this time. Okay, first salvo, and there comes the second salvo. That is kind of like a bit over ambitious here. Like that is too high up. Like that is supposed to hit stuff at I think about 100 to like 200 kilometers height. We'll see. Just let's speed it up a little bit. Yeah, they're not going to. They run out of fuel. That's fine. I mean, the THAAD has enough missiles. And there comes the second salvo. Let's slow it down a little bit. That doesn't look good. They're all like, yeah, but I mean, it's you have to acknowledge how difficult it is to hit something. It's often described as hitting a bullet in flight with another bullet, and that's basically what you're trying to do. And now they're like out of the engagement envelope of the SM3. So right now that THAAD is going to take over and try to intercept a couple of more missiles. Let's see how they will do. There they come. Yep, we're getting a few hits. And THAAD is firing again. Now we're like, this is basically, I mean, it's already kind of low, but this is probably more like the sweet spot where THAAD is really good. Like, in the very, very last couple of kilometers. And now we're already in the atmosphere. Yes, we got another hit in. And the rest is, they're still hitting stuff. Whoa, they destroyed the whole group. Okay. That's literally by far the best outcome I've seen with all the attempts. Can they get these ones too? That's the question. Yeah, nice try. Okay. That's just a single missile left. And the Patriot is shooting some PAC-2s. That's not going to work. No, that's not going to work, mate. And smack. Okay. Yeah, okay, that runway is actually not destroyed. Okay, interesting. I have to admit, I've run this scenario probably like 5 or 6 times, and there was not a single time where like one of the runways survived. They were always destroyed. So this is like on the high end of the bell curve when it comes to performance of the interceptors. But yeah, I mean, I think it is something that can theoretically happen. It's just not super likely. But yeah, so whoa. Bravo to the ballistic missile defense. That was some like stellar performance today. Okay, let's see. That means we have access to our planes, and they will help defend. Okay. So in Guam it is now 2:20 a.m. So basically 20 minutes for the missiles to be launched, travel, and impact. And yeah, our bombers are still over here, and we'll have to speed up time a lot, and they will take a couple of hours to get to the target area. And yeah, we'll just speed it up and see what happens. So the first group of bombers are getting pretty close to their launch points. These are the ones with KD-20s, so they have long-range cruise missiles. They will release them once they're kind of over here maybe, and then fly back to base. And yeah, they will be the first salvo, and then we'll have the close-range ones to clean up in best case scenario. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the radar in Cadena is picking us up now. We're actually, I mean, this is something that would never work in reality. I mean, we're literally like on the edge of the air defense, like on the of the Patriot range, and yeah, there's like F-15s and stuff here. And as we saw on Google Maps, sometimes there's even some other planes, F-35s. So they would get intercepted. And yeah, here we go. So weapon release. That is a whole bunch of cruise missiles. So we'll just wait for all of them to release their missiles, and then we'll just keep watching and see what happens. And that would be the last one of them. Yes, there we go. So all the cruise missiles are out. Still about 1,000 nautical miles to go for both groups. Yeah, so this will take a while. It is now 3:30 a.m. in Guam, so still middle of the night. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for the bombers to move over there. Yeah, this is going to take a while. I'll probably make some coffee. Yeah, this is very exciting. Look, they'll get there eventually. Don't worry. Also, just to prove the point, our Badgers, with the cruise missiles, they still have plenty of fuel. They're almost back at home, so that's really like launching like the KD-20s at Guam. I mean, in this case, they fly over Taiwan. This is not going to work. But I mean, with that much fuel, they can probably find a route to launch them. So like a whole bunch of KD-20s is a realistic, realistic, I would say. This like additional group over here, you would probably have to completely trash Okinawa before you can do that. But yeah, just to demonstrate that it's technically feasible to get them over there. Also, this is something that could be relevant for like a follow-up strike once a lot of the air defense is already expended or destroyed, and you can actually just like as a low cost solution, fit dumb bombs on these and fly them over and let them drop them. that can work. It's just very, like, it's at the very edge of their, like, their range. So yeah, we're switching over to the Americans and see at what point they can detect the bombers. Once they do, we'll launch our planes. Okay, so that is the cruise missiles, and they were detected by the Arleigh-Burk because they're flying like right past it. And there we have the bombers. Okay. So let us see. We will mark all of these as hostile. And then we'll go over here. Cap Guam is now active. Okay, so they will be coming in multiple waves. Yeah, as you can see, it's like each of the bomber groups, basically. It's the Raptors and the F-15s. Probably go a little bit slower so we can see what's happening. Yeah, so they're engaging the first wave of cruise missiles. They should probably be a little bit conservative with their ammo so that they have something to shoot down the bombers, but we'll see. But everything that the planes can destroy is something where we save missiles from our air defense on. So I'll try to use their sidewinders. Yeah, that was not a good shot. But I mean, these things are, yeah, I mean, they're slower than a JASM, but still pretty fast. Yep, that's one group destroyed. Nice. Can you get another one? One. Yep, got it. Nice. So far, nothing got through. That's pretty good. See if they can catch some more. Yep, got one. Okay, you might wanna pay attention to what's coming over here. That's the Patriot firing, and they're firing. That's Stingers. Okay, so we lost. I think we just lost one of our targets over here. Next wave incoming. Yeah, they basically have to lose altitude before they can engage. That's actually a problem. Oh, that's a big volley. They did not do a good job here. Okay, that's the Patriots coming out. It's still Pack 2s. Why are they not using their... I've not been using their Pack 3s much yet. Yeah, perfect. Oh, they got them all. I'm impressed. Okay. Yeah, it's another big volley. Oh, it's a lot of missiles. Yeah, we're getting some hits now. Next volley. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, there's no airplanes this time, so the Patriot will have to. Yeah, taking some hits here. That was the ammo bunkers. Okay, that was painful. Why are you not shooting? Okay, that's our bombers. Let's see. What's the distance here? Still 200 nautical miles approximately, and they are just, yeah, they'll run out of fuel at some point. What's the remaining aircraft? 2 Raptors, 5 F-15s. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, now they're launching their first missiles. There they come. Okay, at this point we'll just tell all remaining aircrafts to take off. And yeah, take off in any, like, even with just a single plane. Yeah, first volley got pretty much decimated. They're flying at like 200 feet altitude. What are you guys doing over there? Yep. Attack some stuff. There come the... Oh, it's still Pack 2s. For some reason they don't seem to be interested in firing their Pack 3s. Okay, got him. Next wave of missiles. Yeah, we're suffering quite a few hits now. Next volley of missiles incoming. He's trying to... he's actually doing what he's told. Let's see if he can catch one. Ooh, he hit one. Oh, but the bombers are shooting back. Oh, but he's creating quite some chaos over here. And we are getting some hits at the Yeah, that was our airport terminal gone. We also suffered some hits over here. Empty, empty, no more fuel. Okay, so the rest of the missiles we're probably going to have to defend with our faces. Ah, that's the depot, and it's dead. And some more hits at the airport. And now we actually have to switch over to the Chinese really quick because we need to get our tankers in the air. Let's go, because they will have some travel time. So these are our like dumb bombed carriers, and let's see how they fare. So they are trying to attack these runways over here. Oh, it's even the damaged one still going. And here come the bombs. Actually, a pretty good angle. Let's see if they can score some hits. Yes, they can score some hits. Not great though. Next round. Yes, some hits. And they actually destroyed one of the runways. Okay, pretty good. Actually, not. That's not a runway. It's like a runway grade taxiway, but yeah, still pretty good. Like the units are aiming pretty good today. It's that's amazing. Yeah, but that was actually it. All bombers have dropped their stuff. Everything has everything is out, and now the question is how many of them can get back home. We can have a quick look at the tally. So in the south, everywhere here was destroyed. The airport terminal was destroyed, and we did get hits on the runway, but we still have operational runways here. The military base over here, that was the one with all the radars, still okay. Damaged, but not destroyed. And then we got a lot of hits in at Anderson. But I've seen, like, in previous runs, Anderson did look a lot worse, I can tell you. So yeah, I was actually, like, went pretty well from the American side. Are you going to get back home? Yeah, seems to have enough fuel. And what the hell are you doing? Okay, he wants to go all the way over here so he can then get to his. Okay, I mean. Look, it's command. It's sometimes you just have to visit the Chinese coastline. Okay. Okay, the rest of the scenario will basically be, okay, how do we save our bombers? Because, okay, these are not that bad, but yeah, these are pretty bad, so we'll have to try. Also, right now they're actually not allowed to receive any fuel. We'll have to put that to allow, and then yeah, we'll try to get them back home. This will take a while. Okay, so we're basically letting the groups mostly decide for themselves whether or not they want to. Yeah, you should also get some fuel. But these ones over here, they're actually like flying straight home, and I think that's actually not a problem. They have enough. Yeah, it's basically going to be these groups and these. And the problem is, like, I mean, refueling a fighter is one thing, but like that's like literally badgers refueling badgers. So each plane will basically suck one of the tankers dry. So we'll see how that goes. Are you refueling? Oh, you are seriously out of fuel, mate. Next round of tankers are just on the way, so if you can make it over there. Oh yeah, we just lost a whole bunch of planes. Oh well. That can happen. First round of bombers is back in base though, so already lots of them. Look, can you maybe like refuel? Okay, this group is fine. This one, I don't know. Let's see if they can make it. But it might be just enough to get them back. Yep. Looks good. Okay, so how many did we lose? Ooh, we lost only 2 badgers. Yeah, so if you look at the at Anqing, this is the relevant airfield because those were the ones that were short on fuel. Yeah, we have 18 H6H, another 18, and then 10. That was 12 previously. So we actually lost like just 2 bombers with this for this entire ordeal. So that is actually like the best outcome I've seen so far. So yeah. Stellar performance on all sides. Like ballistic missile defense, really killing it, and also all the bombers being able to make it back, even if they're basically running on the last drips and the last fumes in their tanks. Yeah, looking really good. And for the final tally, I mean, we have to count this one still as operational, and so we are, and just the same, we have to count Anderson as still operational. There's a lot of damage here, obviously, but yeah, it has been worse, like a lot worse. And I mean, did we lose any aircraft on the ground? We can see really quick. Yeah, so we had 2 Raptors and 6 F-15s destroyed on the ground. So those were in parking spots or in hangars, and the hangar was hit, and yeah, that happens. Okay, so yeah, overall, not the worst result. Okay, so all in all, we'll give it a score of 7 out of 10 because one of the targets was not entirely destroyed. The 2 airports are still operational. Yeah, 7 out of 10 for 312 missiles expended. Yeah. So what I want to show with this, I mean, it's kind of obvious that Guam is in need of an update or upgrade when it comes to air defense. Like the amount of stuff that can hit it, especially with the DF-26, it needs like a robust ballistic missile defense. Even though in this case, like it performed amazingly, like in all previous attempts, it was like you had at least 6 or 7 missiles getting through. In this case, they missed just a single DF-26, which hit the runway at Anderson. That is like with the stuff that is there. I mean, if the Arleigh-Burk is just in a slightly different position, and the mid-course intercepts, they played a huge role in this case, and they may just be a non-factor in most cases, because you have to be in a really good position to. Also, I mean, it's not a given that the SBX would be there to actually detect the missiles. If you can't see the missiles, you can't shoot the missiles, and then it's down to the THAAD doing all the work, and yeah, it's not leak-free. Yeah, and then the rest is just, it's a whole bunch of sea skimmer missiles, and you need lots and lots of interceptors to take them all down. So yeah, I found the Iron Dome is actually a really good idea, and yeah, I mean, and an early warning radar, like a ballistic early warning radar, in Guam is certainly a really, really good idea. So I found this like a really, really, really interesting scenario to construct. And yeah, of course, it's not probably not exactly how it would play out in real life, but a good demonstration of the capabilities that both sides have. And I hope you found it interesting. And I'll see you next time.